It's not often that Mattel gets outdueled by other companies, other brands, and today I have an instance where they were not only outdone by the factory customizers who are just some random bootleggers in China, but also by Tomica, the Japanese Disney Cars brand. They took their Thomasville tribute line to the next level by undeniably releasing some of the most popular characters compared to Mattel. They did 3 that Mattel didn't even touch. Of course, one being Cruz Ramirez, who we will examine today. The most popular one, in my opinion, would have absolutely been the King Strip Weathers. I mean, you release regular the King, and he sells like hotcakes, even though he's been released for like 17 years straight. And just look at that design. They decided to take this nice white-green combo, put it on Parker Breakston, a car no one really knows about. And to top it all off, Tomica did Danny Swervez as Jet Robinson when Mattel opted to do Herb Kerbler, the fictional racer, as Jet Robinson. So that tells me they're like, yeah, we don't really want to pay the extra royalties to have Danny Suarez's, a real-life NASCAR driver's likeness on our car. So we're just going to use Herb Kerbler, who, is just a creation. So yeah, absolutely Tomica annihilated Mattel when it comes to this. Now Mattel obviously also did, Jackson Storm. Tomica did that one as well. You have Cal Weathers, and Tomica, their line wasn't as big as Mattel's. I mean, Mattel did like Reb Meeker, Paunchy Wipeout, like I said, Parker Breakston, Chip Gearings. But for whatever reason, they didn't do Cruz and the King, which in my mind really stick out as missed opportunities. But today we have a factory custom that absolutely fits into any collection. I mean, you could pass this off as one of the Thomasville racers that, is supposed to be in the line almost. It fits in perfectly compared to maybe some other factory customs that you pass on. Like, I don't know, maybe you don't want a green Lightning McQueen or you don't want a red Chewy Bulldozer. Totally understandable. This one, though, it's the next level. It takes it up a notch. And yeah, welcome back to the 12 Days of Christmas, day 9. After today, we are 75% of the way through the series, which is wild, as I always say. It just is, though. No cliche, it truly is. The suggester for today is Sensei Luminous. Thank you very much for that. I really do appreciate it. I didn't put this in my recommendations for what to suggest to me, and so that's why there was only one suggester, but still very much so appreciated. And we're going to dive right in. Now, because Cruz Ramirez had that bond with Louise Barnstormer Nash in Cars 3, her paint job is obviously modeled after that, but she retains her Dinoco sponsor, just as like when Lightning McQueen tributed to Doc Hudson, which is actually something that happens in the movie. He retained the Rust-eze sponsoring, but his paint job emulated Doc Hudson, or should I say Fabulous Hudson Hornet. So I really do like this, super creative. It absolutely makes sense because it's basically her role model. I thought that was really cool, and I think this design looks fantastic on Cruz. It would have sold wonderfully, and again, oh my god, I really hope that the factory customizers pick up Mattel's slack and do the King just like this. I feel like they absolutely are capable of doing that, and it really is like my highly anticipated factory custom, as if they're like movies or something that are coming out. But yeah, I am using the Heyday Louise Nash right here, so that's why the pink pops off a little bit more than on Cruz. But of course, the older version of Louise Nash has a much more faded pink, so it looks more like the factory custom here. But this is just a tremendous job. The thing that really stands out the most to me, and it's kind of a minor detail, but Tomica, obviously this is like the most official we can get. They received their artwork directly from Disney and Pixar, so they just, emulated that. But the factory customizers looked at that and they're like, yeah, we can absolutely do that, and we're going to do it perfectly. So even down to the tires here and the wheels that have the white wall action to them, I am so glad that they were able to make that and translate it over to the 155 scale factory custom. Because I totally could have seen them just using like regular rims on Cruz, but no, they changed them up, and I am super happy about that. Not super identical to Louise's Nash rims, but I think the white walls look really good on Louise. Or on Cruz, I should say. Now, here's where things get a little bit wonky. You can see that the Dinoco gasoline logo is... what is going on there, right? The Stegosaurus, I think that is, in the center there looks more like a crazed man that's grown spikes because there's like no head to it. Like, let's get the fancy dandy T out here. Yeah, like there's a chunk missing right there that should be there. And the gasoline text kind of fades. Dinoco, it's not as bold as it is there. So that isn't fantastic, but it's understandable. And I do want to point out real quick that this is a logo that we've seen before on other racers like Ducky Fauntleroy, who has it as well. So Dinoco, you know, they had their stakes in a lot of different racers back in the day and probably still do. The Dinoco logo on the text is a little bit thinner on the factory custom. Both have silver headlights there, which is something that Mattel doesn't really do. Like, they never really do silver headlights like that. So you could tell that they were emulating Tomica, because that's something that Tomica does. They always tend to do like those silver headlights. And other type details like the gas cap as well. Thomasville 51. You got the exhaust pipes there. That Dinoco logo there is a little bit better. It's actually quite a bit better, but still not perfect. And the like scales on the dinosaur are like very spiky when they should be a little bit more rounded, kind of like a flower blossom. They do have the roof flaps there. Now, one thing I'm not a big fan of on the Tomica version is how bold the Dinoco text is on the spoiler. It kind of looks crammed, and it just doesn't really fit with the rest of it. Like, this is just so faint and subtle, and then you have, bam, Dinoco. So I like how they did it more so on the factory custom, and they were even able to get the text on the flares sides of the spoiler as well. And then you have 51 on the back, and that is it. You can see the base here, made in China, children's toy car. That is the biggest indicator that, you know, this is a factory custom and not a real product from Mattel. You know, people ask me all the time, how can you tell? And a lot of it does come down to just being around for like forever, you know, in the cars community, and knowing like, oh yeah, I could tell, you know, maybe a slight difference in the expression, slight difference in the quality. This one though doesn't get any easier. That is not something that Mattel is going to inscribe on their base. And yeah, let's quickly compare her to a couple other Cruz Ramirez's. You have the newest one from Cars on the Road. And so you could see that, yeah, they don't ever do like these silver headlights here. And that's why you can immediately tell that it is also, you know, it's not like they also got the artwork from Disney and Pixar. It's not like they send that to the bootleggers. They were just like, oh, look, Tomica did this. Let's do that. So that's why they could easily do the King, in my opinion. And I honestly think it's very feasible. It's something that absolutely could and should happen in the next few months. If you had to like tell me or ask me like how likely is it that they do a factory custom of that King, I'd give it like a good 20%. 20% in the next 2 years. After 2 years though, then yeah, it falls off pretty considerably. Here is your Dinoco Cruz Ramirez. So she still has like the next gen rims. They're just silver, and then you have the white walls on them. So I don't know. I just love the combination of new and old there. I'm really not the biggest fan of Cruz Ramirez and whatnot. Nothing against her, but I really do like this one. I also like how the factory customizers put that little piece of pink on the window there, even though it looks like it's off from where it should be. So it looks pretty good. I also brought out the Rust-eze Cruz for a quick comparison. So yeah, like I was saying earlier, I know a lot of people, again, don't buy the factory customs, like whatever. They don't see them as canon. I mean, obviously this isn't either, but it definitely would fit into your collection more so than the green Frank would, right? And yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I think it's really cool. I mean, you got Louise Nash here and Cruz Ramirez who are paired together. And then I guess since Jackson Storm, he chose Randy Lawson to tribute. Does that mean Randy was like a villain back in the day? I don't know. It's kind of interesting to think about. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. By the way, Randy Lawson's getting released in 2023 along with Jet Robinson. So if you need them, you definitely have an opportunity to get them. Hopefully you enjoyed the review of this sexy factory custom. I'll see you tomorrow for day 10, double digits of the 12 days of Christmas. Bye now.